Almost everyone knows what a BLT sandwich is. You get your bacon cooked, you slice up and toast some bread, you get your lettuce cleaned, tomatoes sliced, and a little bit of mayonnaise. But that can leave all of us feeling a little bit bland and boring. So today, Xander and I went to our local farmer's market and got some beautiful ingredients to make a killer BLT sandwich that could change your entire outlook on this classic sandwich.
If you want to know what's in this bag,
stick with us and we're going to show you. All right, so BLT. Xander, can you remind our shoe chefs what a BLT stands for?
the B stands for bacon, the L stands for lettuce, and the T stands for tomatoes.
Perfect. A BLT sandwich is just that, bacon, lettuce, and tomato. Really, really simple sandwich. If you've never seen one before, or if you've never heard of it before, that is as simple as it gets. But like we said earlier, sometimes that can be pretty boring. Some of us grew up with really simple sandwich bread, really flavorless, out-of-season tomatoes, and iceberg lettuce that just tastes like crunchy water. So today we wanted to take that up a notch and make it more exciting. And we had an opportunity to go to our local farmer's market and grab, again, some really gorgeous ingredients. We love supporting our local farmers when we can. It is a little bit more expensive, but it's worth the money in our house to really dial in and get some ingredients that are just going to take this up to a whole new level. So first we found some really gorgeous bib lettuce. Usually we would use iceberg, but the bib lettuce has a little bit more flavor. It doesn't have quite the same crunch, but it will cover our sandwich really nicely. It's got more vitamins and nutrients in it because it is a little bit darker green, less water content. We have some heirloom tomatoes here. We've got a big yellow slicing tomato. We also have some gorgeous green zebra stripe tomatoes too. An heirloom vegetable is one that you normally don't find at your local supermarkets. They're typically a little bit more expensive because they're harder to grow, but they are more unique, typically packed full of more vitamins, nutrients, have different colors that you're not used to seeing, and grow in smaller quantities. So most markets, supermarkets will have non-heirloom varieties of tomatoes or non-heirloom varieties of vegetables because they're easier to produce en masse. They can pack them full of water really quickly to make more fruit or vegetables. In this case, we went with the heirlooms because they will have more flavor. They're way more pretty. They look nice. And again, we like to support things that are a little bit more unique when we can. There's no problems with using just a store-bought commodity vegetable or fruit. But in this case, again, we're going to take it up a whole new level because we can. So we've got our tomatoes, we've got our lettuce, and then instead of using sandwich slice bread, we went to the bakery and bought a bowl of sourdough. And this one here, nice crumb inside. It's got a nice crust on the outside. It's cooked, it's baked really, really well. But this one is special. Not only is it sourdough, but it's a pesto sourdough. So the bake shop folded in some pesto, which is basil, pine nuts, and cheese, folded that into the bread, and now that's got the flavor on the inside. So that will take a white loaf of sandwich bread up a new level and add a ton of flavor that we'll get in here. And just like that, we've got most of our ingredients. We are still missing bacon and some mayonnaise. Now, because we didn't find mayo at our local market, we're just going to use our Hellmann's or our Duke's. We're using a little bit of a lighter mayonnaise in this case to keep the fat content down just a touch, because we're going to add some fat into the sandwich when we toast our bread, and then we're also going to add our bacon. Now, we're using just a supermarket, store-bought commodity bacon because we actually had that in our freezer. Pulled it out and thawed it because we bought it on sale. This is the point where you can choose whichever you would like. If you want to use thick cut bacon like we're using here, it's a commodity. If you find some at your local market from a producer that you like, go ahead and grab that. You can also use turkey bacon if you don't eat pork products. No judgment there. I grew up with that too. Now that we've got our ingredients, the sandwich is basically built here. We're going to show you a couple of industry chef secrets on how to pack more flavor into your tomatoes, pack more flavor into your bread, and use your mayonnaise in the best way possible. We're also going to show you how to cook bacon quickly and be able to render off more of the fat if you want a leaner sandwich. We have to wash our hands. We're going to secure our cutting board. We're going to get in the kitchen. We'll see you there. Okay, so now that we're in the kitchen, our hands are washed and our cutting board is secure. The first step is to get our oven kicked on. We're gonna kick the oven on to 350 Fahrenheit and warm that up ready for our bacon. While the oven is preheating, we're going to take a sheet tray. We're going to tear off a piece of parchment to fit. Now, parchment paper instead of tin foil will help the bacon not stick. Once we have that, we're gonna open up our pack of bacon and we're going to lay the bacon strip by strip down single file, so that way there is no overlap. The bacon will shrink when it cooks, but if we stack it on top of each other, that bacon will cook together into a sheet and we won't be able to use it quite as well. Once we have the bacon on our sheet tray, we're going to kick it into the oven and cook that for roughly about 10 to 15 minutes. This time will vary depending upon how thick your bacon is and how crispy you want it. I know some people love crispy bacon, some don't, so we're gonna go kind of somewhere in the middle. While the bacon is cooking, we're gonna turn around and start in on the rest of our mise en place. We're going to prep our tomatoes. This is a chef secret step here that will take your tomato from a 0 to a 10 pretty quickly. So Xander, what knife should we use to slice a soft tomato?
A serrated slicing knife.
Perfect. The teeth on the serrated slicing knife are the right implement to slice a tomato cleanly and accurately, so you don't have one very thin side and one very thick side, kind of making your sandwich look sloppy. We're going to slice our tomatoes as thick or as thin as you'd like. We're going to go kind of about pinky width thickness because the heirloom tomatoes have a lot of flavor. Once we have those sliced, this is that secret that I told you about here. We're going to put them down onto some paper towel to pull away some of the moisture. This will help it so that way the sandwich doesn't get soggy. And then when you bite into that big, thick, nice, beautiful BLT, it's not gonna squidge out everywhere. Also, while the tomatoes are on the paper towel, kind of dabbing away some of that moisture, we're going to salt the tomatoes. Now, this is gonna help season the tomato itself because a tomato is mostly water, right, Xander?
Right.
And salt will help intensify the flavor of the tomato itself. So if you've got a really nice tomato, it's gonna take it up a level. And if you've got a commodity kind of bland tomato, it'll at least help take it up a little bit as well.
What does it mean when a tomato's bland?
If a tomato is bland means it doesn't have much flavor. We don't like bland in our house, and that's why we use salt in almost every application we can. Now that our tomatoes are seasoned and draining, we are going to clean up our lettuce. Now, where does lettuce grow, Xander?
In the ground.
In the ground. That means it's going to have dirt and potentially some bugs in it, especially if you go to a farmer's market and buy it there. The Butter Crunch lettuce that we're using, because it is such an open head of lettuce, it will definitely invite more dirt and more bugs into it. So we're going to go over to the sink. We're going to fill up a salad spinner about halfway, and we're going to peel back our leaves into that salad spinner, floating them in the water to start to let the debris fall off. Now, we're gonna choose to clean up the entire head of lettuce because we're gonna make a couple of sandwiches, and whatever we don't use, we're just gonna put into a Ziploc bag with a little bit of paper towel, and that will help us keep the lettuce good for a couple extra days. We're gonna remove any dead, brown, busted leaves. We're gonna remove any big debris. We're also gonna clean up the bottom veins down towards the root end, so that way they don't hang over the sandwich. Once they've floated, kind of gently pat them into the water to remove the debris. Pick that salad spinner basket up, dump the dirty water out, spin your leaves. From there, we're just gonna go onto a sheet tray lined with some paper towel, so that way that'll dab off any other remaining water that we have. We're gonna move on to our bread. Now, when I grew up having BLTs, we would just throw the bread in the toaster, toast it dry, and then spread a thin layer of mayonnaise on it. And that's not what we're gonna do today. We're gonna take our beautiful pesto sourdough. We're gonna use that same serrated slicing knife and cut our bread to the thickness we want. Now with the sourdough, it's got a little bit more chew to it, so we're not gonna go too thick because that'll hurt the roof of our mouth and kind of cut us up a bit. So we're gonna cut it about the thickness of our pinky, maybe just a little bit thicker depending upon your pinky size. Mine are pretty small. We're gonna get our slices ready. Again, a sandwich needs 2 slices per, so we're gonna count that out properly. And then we're going to show you yet another industry secret here. We're not gonna toast our bread in the toaster. We're actually going to griddle our bread in a pan. We're going to get a little bit of oil in either a cast iron or a non-stick pan, or a griddle plate if you've got one for your stove. Get that nice and hot, throw some oil in the pan, and then we're going to griddle our bread in that pan and that oil. You're gonna wanna watch yourself here pretty carefully, because you can go from 0 to hammered really, really quick depending upon the oil level of your bread. We're gonna get a nice golden brown toast on one side of each of your sandwich slices. Once that's toasted, pull that out of the pan, kick your stove off, make sure that you're not gonna roach any of your oil. And while that bread is still hot, you'll notice that it has formed a bit of a crust. You're gonna take a clove of garlic, peeled, and you're gonna rub that all over your bread. You're gonna feel the bread is a little bit harder on that crust. That's gonna help infuse that garlic directly into that bread, making that bread taste even more flavorful. So now that we've got all of our ingredients, we just have to get our mayonnaise. So we're using Hellmann's light mayonnaise. A lot of times we'll use Duke's too if we want a bit richer.
Uh-oh, Dad, we're out of mayo. We have a sandwich crisis. What are we gonna do?
Well, it's not a crisis if we know how to make our own mayonnaise. If you haven't seen that episode, you should stop what you're doing, put your equipment down, and go check it out. We made mayo in 5 minutes, and it's gonna taste even better than what we've got in that jar right now. We're gonna put both of our slices of bread down on our cutting board, griddled side down. We're going to take our mayonnaise, and we're gonna give it a good, healthy spread on both pieces of bread. This is gonna help give some moisture to the sandwich, and we never want a dry sandwich. That'll ruin a sandwich for you quicker than you can say, oops. Once that mayo has been spread, we're gonna put down a couple slices of our salted tomato. Then we're going to take our bacon and add that in. You can leave it whole, or you can cut it in half depending upon the size of your bread, so that way it doesn't hang off too badly. We're gonna use anywhere between 2 and 4 slices of bacon. You can go more if you want. Once our bacon's on, we're gonna take our clean lettuce, put a couple of pieces there. We're gonna close up our sandwich, and that's it. That right there is a classic BLT sandwich that's been taken up a level with the market ingredients that we have, and a couple of industry chef secrets as well. So there it is, right there. Our killer BLT. We got our thick cut bacon, we got our heirloom butter crunch lettuce, we've got our zebra striped tomatoes, got our homemade aioli that we made ourselves with a little bit extra garlic, some beautiful sourdough that's got pesto and rubbed with garlic. You really can't beat that. If you like what you saw, like and subscribe.
Hit the bell notification too.
Go down in the comments too and let us know what you like to add to your BLTs. We can make it as crazy as you want too. We can make it a BELT, adding a fried egg to it. We can make it a BALT by adding avocado. We could make it with cheese. We could spice up our aioli. We could get a different sourdough. However you want to make it, let us know what you like to do. We hope that you can now create a BLT sandwich that is no longer boring, dull, or dry. Till the next one, we'll see ya.
Bye.